So welcome to Level Up to Scale Up day number 3, where we are talking about how to level up your growth mindset. There are 2 types of mindsets. I'm sure you guys have all heard. Actually, have you heard there's a third mindset? There is the fixed mindset, there's the growth mindset, and then there's the benefit mindset, which is where your mindset is all about the success and benefit of other people. So I thought that was really interesting when I discovered that. And it's something that this teacher is using this principle in his teaching, like grade school. I was like, wow, how nice to teach the kids about someone other than themselves. Right? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Elaine Turso, and I'm here with my cohort, Kay Paige Engel. Hello, darling.
Hello, everyone.
So today we are going to be talking about growth mindset. So we are all about go big or go home, right? There's no more half-assing it here. We don't half-ass here. We whole ass it.
Because I got enough of it. So
I got enough of it too, girl. Like I put my whole booty in, right? Like there's no more half and nothing. Nope. So we're going to be talking about how to break out of old patterns that are no longer serving us. We're going to talking about embracing the suck. Nobody wants to talk about it, but we need to talk about it. And then we're going to talking about self-discipline and accountability. So those are some things you can expect to hear from us today. And of course, I came up with acronyms.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. So actually, would you guys rather hear mindset or level up? Because I have one for each. But which one would you rather hear?
Mindset.
Mindset? All right. So here we go. The M is for mirror, because others are mirrors of us, right? I is for impression. There are things out in the world that can leave a positive or a negative impression on our mindset. It is a choice how you choose to take that, okay? N stands for negative thoughts, which we do not want, but we do get them, and learning how to fend them off is the secret. So it's self-awareness, knowing that you're having a negative thought and then being able to act accordingly and not allow it to turn it into to a bad day, right? Let's see here. D is for discipline. We must be self-disciplined in order to maintain a positive mindset. S is for scarcity. There is such thing as a scarcity mindset where all we focus on is the lack. And the opposite of scarcity is abundance. E is for encourage. When we can encourage others, it will help us improve our own mindsets. And T is for tune-up, because our mindsets need tune-ups just like our cars, right? We got to get an oil change every couple of months. We got to tune up our mindset. It's not a one-time fix-it thing. It is a constant practice. It is never over. Working on your mindset is never over. Tune-up!
Yeah.
Sheena, that is so funny. Tune up. Oh, thank you for that laugh. I needed that. Thank you so much.
Well, what's interesting with that is that, do you guys know how big a tuna is? I mean, they're big fishes, right? So go big or go home.
Go big with the tuna.
Go big with the tuna. So let's talk a little bit more about growth and what it means for business growth. We all hear that thrown around, in different conversations. Oh, we got to, grow in our business, grow with our teams and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about what are 3 enemies to business growth. And the first one, I think both Elaine and I feel that the first one is safety. When you stay in your comfort zone, no real growth can happen, right? So you need something to shake up what you're doing, some sort of radical behavior, something that's going to push you to the next level. So that's the first enemy, is safety. The second enemy is certainty, right? That whole leap of faith, taking that leap of faith. I always like to equate it to driving in a car at night across country. You never know. Literally, you can't see what's more than 250 to 300 feet ahead of you, but you have faith that you're going to make it to your destination just from those headlights. You don't know what's going on, but you have that faith. So getting over the fact of having to know for certain what's going to happen next. And then the last enemy of business growth would be security. Got to get out of that comfort zone. Nothing is ever guaranteed, whether you're an employee or a business owner or an entrepreneur or a freelancer. Each day is new. I think that's one of the reasons why I love being an entrepreneur, is that I have no idea what's coming. But I do know that I have the necessary foundations in place to be able to handle it. And so do you. And that is why you're here, to learn those foundational pieces to help you grow your business.
Absolutely. I have really last year stepped way out of my comfort zone, because I knew that in order for me to go big or go home, in order for me to level up myself, that I was going to have to do something that I didn't have guarantee. There was no guarantee that it was going to work. There was no guarantee that the program I was going to invest in was actually going to pay off. We have no guarantees. But I was committed to showing up. I was committed to doing the work. So do you think I got results because of that? Little tiny bit, just a little bit. That's why you're here, because I took all of that action and put something like this together. Never would have done that otherwise. So I would say it worked. Me showing up and doing the work has paid off. And like I said, I had no certainty. So we're going to talk about fear and patterns. There's a fear cycle pattern, and I'm going to show you how to create a new pattern. Okay. It's all about mindset. So true or false? Let me ask you guys this one. Do you think people are motivated by fear of loss or the potential of gain? Which one do you think motivates people the most? I see number 2, I see number 1, right? Which we should be focused on gain, right? That's where we should be focused on. So people are motivated by the fear of loss is the correct answer, more than the potential to gain. So if you can switch that mindset from what am I going to lose to the what am I going to gain, that is huge. That is huge. So you have some fear, you have a lot of fill in the blanks here. Okay, so you guys get ready. And if Paige, you want to type these in the chat, it would be really helpful. So number 1, fear creates doubt. Fear creates doubt. When you are scared and you're just unsure, you are uncertain, what creeps in? All of the doubt, all of the potential, all the things that could go wrong. It validates your fear. It's good like that. Our brains are, oh man, sometimes they are so mean to us. Doubt then creates sabotage. So when you have those little doubt thoughts that come in here, guess what shows up? Your self-saboteur, my bitch's name is Sally. And I do call her the B word because she is. Because her job is to keep me safe, keep me stuck, and stay right where I'm comfortable. I'm not growing there. There is no growth happening there. Sally just wants to hang out and play bubble wrap, and I say no. So doubt creates sabotage. Sabotage creates insanity. When you think about that over and over and over and over, you are just going to be in the same cycle on repeat. And that, my friend, is the definition of insanity, right? So insanity creates more fear. So we're going to talk about how to disrupt that pattern and how to change it. Okay. So fear instead now creates opportunity. If you were to really look at fear and analyze it and say, what is the opportunity here? What can I learn? Because I don't believe that learning anything, if you learn something, I do not count that as failure. I refuse to count any learning opportunity as failure. So looking at the opportunity, if you are really having that fear, what potential opportunity could you be missing out on because of it? Because you're afraid to act. Opportunity creates action. When that opportunity comes to you and you're feeling scared as hell, you have a choice. Old pattern, fear, doubt, sabotage, insanity, or action. Do something about it. Take action in faith, have hope, and know that just because you don't have a guarantee that it's going to work out doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. Okay? Action creates success. When we take action, we can't help but to succeed. It is guaranteed. Action guarantees success. Okay? Success, when you have, oh my God, it worked, guess what happens? It creates more energy. And energy is the soul of everything, right? When you have all the good stuff going on, where's your energy at? It is super high. All the good things are happening. And then guess what happens? More good things start to happen for you because you are in high energy and you are just attracting all that juiciness to you. You are manifesting it and just like, oh man. Anyone else like know exactly what I'm talking about? When I talk about it, I get goosebumps. Anyone else? Yeah. So therefore, energy and action is the cure to fear. That is the cure to fear. Action cures fear. How do you guys feel about that? Good. Okay. So now we're going to jump into some money mindset. Oh, my favorite. So does anyone here have money rules? Like money rules could be like, I don't buy anything on a credit card. That could be a money rule. It could be, I must have $5,000 in my savings account at all times, otherwise I'm broke. Anyone have any money rules that you can think of that are things? Paige, what's your money rule? Martina, what's your money rule?
Don't buy anything unless it's broken, or don't replace anything unless it's broken.
Okay. Paige, what's yours?
And my money rule is use up everything that I have before I buy something else.
Okay. Anyone else want to share a money rule that you have or type it in the chat? I love to hear people's money rules because I think they're really fascinating. And do you know where our money rules come from? our parents, our childhood, how we grew up. When I grew up, I was the oldest, and I would see my mom was the checkbook holder. So I became the checkbook holder because that's what I saw. My husband saw his mother with the checkbook. So guess who gets stuck with the checkbook? Because that's how he grew up too. I get the checkbook. It's a lot of responsibility, right? So our money rules are very much because of how we were raised, how we grew up, right? And sometimes those beliefs, especially if we grew up in a poverty or semi-poverty, like we have carried those beliefs with us into our own lives and into our businesses. All of the stuff that we went through growing up, we are carrying with us into our businesses. So you're wondering why you're stuck? You have to look at what happened in your life experience that is part of your story that you are telling yourself that, well, you know, my mom said, my teacher once told me, like, I have heard some real dingers, and all I can think is that teacher needs to be fired sometimes, because I have heard people say, and it sticks with them. I call it the spider web effect, right? All of the negative things that has ever been said to us or something we said about ourselves sticks to our spider web. And it is severe self-awareness and the ability to say, I'm going to cut the strings and let it go in order to move forward. It doesn't happen without practice. So your current money rules, the rules you have set around your money are creating your current results. Everything that has happened up until now is a result of your rules, whether they're around money, whether they're around mindset, have led you to where you are today. So, in order to get different results, what do you think has to happen? Anyone want to take a guess? Shayna, I see you nodding yes. Do you want to say?
Too many buttons. Change the rules.
Yes, we have to change the rules. And guess who has the power to change the rules?
Me, I do.
No one else can change them for you, right? Can we all agree that you are the only one who can change this for you? You are the problem and your solution, right? So you see here, we have 3 lines. Your poverty line, which is what I call the bare minimum. So what I want you to do is I want you to write a number here. What is the bare minimum that you need to make in your business in order to survive? In order to have housing, in order to feed yourself and your family, in order to not be naked, right? What is the bare minimum that you need to make in your business in order to survive? Shayna?
So we're currently a 1-income household,
Okay.
and we're doing okay. So I don't have to.
So anything above is bonus, cherries on top, right?
Right.
Okay. So I would put in what is your bare minimum that you need in order to pay your household expenses.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next line, Shayna, is the comfort zone. That is where you're at. Okay, where you're at. Your comfort zone is typically where we hang out, where we don't really go above, but we try to, it's that in between poverty and our comfort zone where whew, we're doing okay. We have a little bit of extra money to go to Starbucks to go get our morning lattes, right? We've got extra for that. We've got extra to take a dance class. We have extras to join Polka Dot Powerhouse. Like, we have extras. We've got a little bit of extra. Okay. What's that comfort zone level for you? The next level is your, oh shit, this is amazing. Oh my God, big things are happening for you. Oh my gosh, this might be like a dream amount. It might be your big, hairy, audacious goal income amount. Okay, so here's what happens. Are you ready for this? Oh man, this is what happens with our money mindset. We don't like being in the poverty zone because we don't really have a lot of extra money to do anything fun, right? We're just barely making it. We're living paycheck to paycheck. We got $20 in the bank and we're waiting until next payday. Okay, nobody likes to be there. So what do? We hustle. We grind our gears to make money. And guess what happens? We start making money because we're hustling our asses off. Things are happening. We're getting results. We get into our comfort zone. Woohoo! And you keep hustling, you keep grinding, and you get close to your, oh shit, oh my God, this is amazing number. I'm just going to put $100,000 just as an example because it's just easy. Okay. Let's say that oh shit number is $100,000. What happens when you get to 90,000? You stop hustling. Why? Why do you stop hustling? Why do you stop manifesting these amazing results for yourself? And then what happens is you start to drop down farther and farther and farther. You go back to your comfort zone. You're still cool. Then you drop below your comfort zone. And then you go, oh, I'm running out of money. I better hustle again, right? You hustle, 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 hustle. And so this cycle, this insanity cycle continues to repeat. And I'll tell you why. When we get to that close to that, we're at 90,000. Oh man, we just need $10 more to make 100K and woohoo. Do you know why we don't do it? Because we're afraid. And what could we possibly be afraid of to make money? So here's a question for you. How do you view people that have a lot of money? Do you think people that are millionaires are snobby? Do you think that they're like, I used to think my daughter talks about the Kardashians and she says, Mom, the Kardashians were her age demographics role model. They didn't work a day in their life to be rich. That's what she told me. So she says, my generation thinks, why the hell should I have to work hard? I could be rich without working. So that is her view of someone who she thinks is rich, is that they didn't have to work for it. It was all handed to them. So when you think about celebrities, or let's say you think about Jeff Bezos with Amazon, and you think, oh my God, he has all that money. What do you think about them? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Go ahead and unmute or type in the chat. How do you feel?
Be nice.
Oh, must be nice, right? Must be nice.
I've heard a lot of their stories, like of how they made their money, and they
Yeah.
work so hard.
Yes,
So
Samantha.
when I look at celebrities, though, I'm like, they did not work hard for their money. They just got it. But then I was thinking of like actors, and that's a really hard job.
It is.
So anyway, I used to be like, oh, they just got it. But now I'm like, they worked really hard for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, absolutely. Anyone else want to share?
I think athletes, the same thing. I mean, a lot of those athletes they put in hours after hours after
Yeah.
hours, and only so few make it. And
Right.
if it were just about the sport, they would make certain amount, but then it's all the endorsements that really gets them the money. So
Mhm. Right.
Yeah,
So,
but and
mhm.
then you don't think about, you know, I have a son who's 11 and he loves Space Jam. I don't know if you guys remember that movie about Michael Jordan, but it showed him as like a 8, 9-year-old little boy out there doing the basketball hoops till 11 o'clock at night, till his mom is screaming at him to come inside. It's the hours that they put into it
Mhm. Yeah,
that, and they make it look so easy,
of
right?
course. Of course. Success always looks easy when it happens to someone else. Right? Here's the deal. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. You don't know how late they're staying up and how early they're waking up. But we think we know, but we have no idea, right? So the thing that happens when we get close to reaching our money goal is that maybe on some subconscious level, we are afraid people are going to think negatively about us if we make money. Someone's going to say, "Ooh, must be nice. Rachel's making all that money now. Must be nice." And you're going to be like, "Bitch, you don't even know what I had to do to get here." Like, but like, really, right? We assume, we make assumptions. We are human beings, right? That's what we do.
Can I just really briefly, I
Yes.
love that you're bringing this up because I totally will own, I have my own judgments about being wealthy because of my own family of origin experiences. And I'm sure
Yes.
we all have our own
Yes.
stories, right?
Yes, yes.
And maybe you'll come to this, Elaine, so I apologize if I'm jumping ahead, but I had a negative reaction when you just said, like, when you get to that, oh shit, this is awesome stage, that people stop hustling. For me, I want to stop hustling. Like that's my goal, is to stop being a hustler.
Mm-hmm.
I want, like, and maybe you're like, I get what you're saying, because then the cycle repeats itself,
Mhm,
but it's
mhm.
like, is there a happy medium where we like, and maybe you're getting to that.
Well, here's the thing though, is that just because, so one of the fear mindsets that we have when we get up there is, can we maintain that? Can you maintain making $100,000 a year? How hard is it going to be for you to hit that again? So you hit it one year, and then the next year, you don't. How's that going to feel? Or what if the fear is, what if I lose it all? Because we make it, we stop hustling. And I think hustle is not really the right word, but we stop working. We stop showing up. We stop doing the work because we think, oh, it's going to be easy now.
I've made it.
I made it. I don't have to do anything else. I don't know about you, but there's a difference between like working to work your business and struggling to keep up with your business. And there are ways that people can, I think there are ways to make everyone happy, to support the growth of your company. If you're going to be a $100,000 company, do you think you're going to be able to sustain that alone? No. In order to grow, you have to have a team. You cannot do that alone. Martina, I see your hand.
Thank you. I just want to say that that's helpful.
Good.
So for me, it's a little bit different. I was super comfortable when I had a job, but I was working 68-hour weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And my fear is, if I reach that, oh shit, this is awesome again, I don't want to work 80 hours a week again.
Right.
So my limitation is where I'm like, okay, in order to make that kind of money, I have to work
Mhm.
so many hours. And no way in hell.
Right. So that's what I like to call working smarter and not harder, right? There are ways where you don't have to do that. How many of you here, be honest, I'm going to be honest. Let's be honest, safe space. I quit my 9-to-5 job so that I could be my own boss and make my own hours and do whatever I wanted to, and then wound up working 12 to 14 hours a day because I thought I had to. I thought that I had to be marketing my business at every waking moment of the day. So from 8 a.m. when I woke up to 9 p.m. or 12 o'clock sometimes when I went to bed, I was working on my business all the time. And guess who suffered for that? My kids, my family. I missed cheerleading events. I missed soccer games. I missed football games because I had photo shoots, because I didn't know how to say no. I did not know how to set boundaries in my own business. I wasn't experienced enough yet at the time in order to say, I'm working more in my own business than I did in a job where I was miserable, and now I'm really miserable because I have no time to breathe. The first thing I did for myself was I decided Sundays were my off day. Sundays were my family. That was the first boundary that I set in my business. And do you know how long it took me to do that? I was a photographer for 10 years, probably 7 years. It took me to give myself a day of rest because
And
I thought that I had to do that. Paige, what do you
Yeah.
want to say?
I was going to say, I'm going to share something different that changed from when I worked in corporate. That time example, lots of people experience that. And I'm also finding out now that lots of people experience what I experienced. I didn't do the time thing, but what I did do was the dollar amount thing, where I only made enough money in my business to equate, the $75,000 I was making in corporate. That's as high as I ever brought into my business, was $75,000, because that's what I thought. I had been brainwashed that that's what my time was worth. I see some heads shaking.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that I did with, the whole money mindset. And Elaine and I talk about this all the time. We each have our own money story, and it's what tools you use and how you can overcome those money stories. And I think she's going to kind of go into that
Mhm.
right now.
Absolutely. It's so important that you become aware. Self-awareness is probably the most important key to overcoming your own mindset struggles, is to know, oh, hold on, this is showing up. Why is it showing up? Dig a little deeper, right? And it may require journaling. It may require coaching. It may require therapy. It may require whatever that you need in order to create a new story, because you're carrying around that story with you until you choose to no longer allow that story to dictate your life, to dictate your success, to dictate anything. It is 100% a choice. So when we have that fear of losing it all, right, or how am I going to maintain this, which is why we get so close to that, oh my goodness, $100,000, woohoo, that we drop back down. It may also be you may not feel like you are worthy of receiving that kind of money, which is really hard, because I think that you're worth it, but do you think you're worth it? And why do we tie money into our self-worth? I have no idea why we do that, but we do. Anyone have any questions or thoughts or feelings around this, Ruth?
I do. So I worked in the corporate world 70, 80 hours a week. And when I quit, I threw my watch away. And since then, 20 years ago, I don't wear a watch, as to be defiant, because I'm like, nobody owns my time but me.
Yes.
However, because I was a CPA, made really good money, I felt like, well, if I don't put that time in, I really shouldn't be making that much money. And so I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good that I'm only working 10 hours a week. You know, I'm good with that. And so I compare that, okay, if I'm only working 10 hours, therefore I should only get 1/7 of what I was making. So I kind of like
Mm,
dropped the bar from
mhm,
that. So that's
mhm.
what I'm struggling with. And I absolutely
Interesting.
know that there's things that I could be more efficient in many ways to grow my business, but I've kind of just like been my own thing, you know, I'm a solopreneur type of thing and
Mhm.
not opening it to others. And so I'm slowly learning,
Mhm.
but that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're only working 10 hours, you should only get paid for 10 hours.
Right.
Right.
Right. So if I was working 70, so I really should be making 1/7 of what I was making.
Mhm.
And that should be okay. And
Mhm.
I'm not sure that should be okay.
It's
no.
not. Absolutely not. Right. Absolutely not. It's interesting how if you were to look if you were to look at men and their money mindsets, what do you think would be different than a woman and her mindset around money? Anyone want to weigh in on that?
Well, I'll tell you, in my business, it's a network marketing company, the top levels are all men,
Yeah.
right? 80% of the business is women, but the top ranks are all men.
Why do
So
you
what's
think
wrong
that
with that
is?
picture? I
What do
think
you-
because
why-
their mindset is completely different, right?
Right.
They know what they're worth. They know,
Yeah.
they know, and there's no
Yeah.
doubt in their
Yeah.
mind.
They show up and they do the damn work, right? And as women, sometimes, I'm not saying all times, sometimes we fall into the caretaker role where I'm a mom or I'm a wife and I have to take care of my family. And so that can impact the way that we make money.
They also have expectations of gaining money.
Right.
Their expectation is that if they show up and they do the work, they will be rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to really start to embrace that mindset. Not, oh, if I show up and I give 150% more, and then maybe somebody will throw me a bone. And then, okay, 150% is a mathematical impossibility. You deserve what you can get, right? You deserve it. So make sure that you have that mindset that you deserve to be there. That's one of my mantras. I deserve to be here. Nobody can tell me, and I deserve to be able to earn the money that I'm doing.
And I love what Shayna said. This is a perfect example, is that her partner was conditioned to be the breadwinner. Therefore, his mindset is, I must be the breadwinner. Therefore, I'm going to go out and I'm going to work hard to provide for my family. Do you think that he's letting all the chatter and all the stuff come in his mind and tell him that, no, he can't? Probably not. Sometimes I wish we could think like men. Sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes. Like put it on as a hat and then take it off.
Although I have to interject.
Yeah.
So he and I are the same age, 52, and he is just now starting to think maybe there's more to life than working.
Yes.
Where I mean, I've been there for a
Mhm.
long time, but I think that's one of the downsides of that mindset is he's been so focused on work and supporting a family that there's no room for anything else.
Yeah, that is my brother. That is my brother. My brother works incessantly, and I'm like, you're going to be dead before you get an opportunity to enjoy it. You know, he works himself to the bone. So, okay, so we're going to move on to how to get out of your own damn way and what I call embrace the suck.
Who here likes suck? Right. Exactly.
It's not the word that we really want to bring into our lives, but there's a way we can either ignore it or we can embrace it and deal with it. Okay, so step number one, the only thing that's impossible is the thing that you create. So when you look at a situation, is it possible or impossible? You decide that. No one else decides that for you. I'm sure there were people that said, oh no, you cannot climb Mount Everest. That's impossible. And someone else said, oh yeah, watch me.
And I like to
Plenty
think
of other dead people up on that mountain,
Yeah,
but
true.
people proved that it could be done. Right?
And I like to think of impossible as I'm
possible.
possible.
Yes. Me too. Number two is growth mindset is a must. You must have a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. Are you inspired by success or are you threatened by it? That is kind of the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is inspired, a fixed mindset is threatened. A growth mindset looks for a way, and a fixed mindset looks for an excuse. Kind of see where I'm going with that, right? Number three is the cost of your future business is your current one. Really think about that. If you want to grow, you want to scale up, and you have big dreams and big goals, in order to make that happen, guess what you have to let go? Where you're currently at. Because it's not going to get you there. The only thing that's going to get you there is embodying and embracing this brand new, unfamiliar, uncharted territory that's going to scare the holy hell out of you. If it doesn't scare you, you're on the wrong path. Yes, love.
Elaine, can you just repeat that third step, because I didn't catch that, and I'm.
The cost of your future business is your current one.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Elaine, I don't understand that.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's why you're here, right? That's why you're here. So let's say that you are running a boutique, a one little stop shop boutique, one little tiny store, but your dream is to have a franchise with 10 stores or to go national. Like let's pretend that's the dream. In order for you to make that big dream happen, you have to let go all of the things that are telling you that you have to stay small. So you have to invite in the possibilities. You have to invite in the fear. You have to invite it in. Does that help? Okay, good.
Yeah. And you have to let go of some of the control of that mindset.
Yep.
So if you're saying that you want to have a franchise and be nationwide, that means you're going to have to be open enough to hire a manager to be able to handle it while you go out to all the different locations across the country. But if you don't trust anyone to be able to do that, you're always going to stay small.
Yep, absolutely. So the next one is, what got you here will not get you there. The things that you have learned so far are not going to take you to the next level. You have to learn something new. The next one is, no one is going to care about your dream as much as you do. And you have to be okay with that. When you post something amazing on Facebook or you post this really great offer, this really great sale, and nobody is buying it, it's because you care about it more than anyone else does. And you have to be okay with that.
And that applies to your teams as well.
Yeah.
Some of you all have teams and you're like, oh, I know she can do it. But they may not be in the right space or the right season or even the right place to have that same amount of enthusiasm. So
Right.
you have to be okay with that and still support that person, because you never know, a month from now, 2 weeks from now, they may absolutely catch on fire and do exactly what you want them to do.
Right. So the next one is, sometimes people may be afraid of how their life will change or that they will get left behind if you go big. So really think about that. Is
Can
there
you repeat
anyone?
that again slower?
Yes. Sometimes people may be afraid of how their life will change or that they will get left behind if you start to go big. So think about, is there someone in your life that may feel like they're going to get left behind if you rise to the top? And the last one is one of my favorites. It's from the Dare to Lead book, page 12. This always sticks with me. Fear is not the barrier. It's how we respond to the fear. Fear is not the barrier. It's not. It's a hurdle. It's not a wall.
Can you repeat that, please? Fear is not the barrier. It is
How we respond to fear. That's really what
Thank you.
matters. Yes.
Okay. So I want everybody to take a big deep breath, right?
Take it off.
Yeah, shake it off. Because that was some pretty, heavy stuff. And some things that you may or may not have thought about before, or you may have thought about it just on a surface level and not really kind of like delved into it as much as we did today. But it's okay. It's okay to have these types of conversations and to talk about these things, because what do they lead to? They lead to you making massive and actionable decisions. Okay. And decisions that are going to be important for you today, tomorrow, and in the future. The decisions that you make today are really based on where you're currently at, right? We want to make sure that we encourage you to make decisions based on where you want to go and what your goals are. Okay. So we all know that our life is kind of where it's at right now because of the choices that we've made. But how are we going to make different choices? And what kind of choices did we make to get us to where we are right now? And what can we do differently to get us to where we want to go next? And that's what I want you to start really thinking about. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Who in your life, maybe there's someone that you look up to, or maybe there's someone that you admire. Like, what are some of the skills and, personal development that you need to make, right, for you to be able to scale up in your business? Does that make sense?
Some examples could be, if you're sitting with trauma and you're saying, I need to heal my trauma in order to move myself to the next level. That could be an option. It could be, I need to learn how to market my business better. That could be something that you need to learn. Is there a class you need to take? Is there support that you need? Do you need an accountability partner? So really think about that. Think about all the things that you think have been holding you back, right? So I love an example. I'm going to give you guys an example. Okay. Caterpillar and the butterfly. In order to become the butterfly, the caterpillar must do some things. I found a really cool graphic that I'm going to share in the group later about the butterfly and the caterpillar, but it's like, it's not going to happen without that cocoon, right? You have to be able to go into the state of silence. There is silence in that cocoon, right? There is growth happening. There's transformation. It's not going to happen overnight, right? So in order to become the butterfly, if the butterfly is going to represent your future business, what do you need to do differently? How will you show up differently? Because remember, what got you here is not going to get you there. Who do you need to become? And I would encourage you to strive for the best. If you were the best in your industry, if you were the best at what you do, if you were the best one, how is that different than where you are right now? Right? Rachel, if you were the best therapist ever, what would that look like? How do you think the best therapist in the world behaves?
Now, Rachel, you should have said, I am the best and I'm working on being the best.
I know. Missed opportunity there, girlfriend.
Imposter syndrome is real. I'm still
I
working
know.
on it.
I know. So you have an opportunity to declare that you are the best at what you do. Come on. I can feel it. I can feel it in your bones. She's not there yet.
I know I'm not. And I wrote down some things that could help me feel better. And some of that is getting more training in my ideal client and niche so that I feel more prepared and equipped to handle them. So like I am so not the best and I probably will never be the best, but like I'll settle for 85%.
But if you were to behave though, like you were the best, like that's what I want you to embody. And I think you may be thinking that to say you're the best means that you're an ego.
I'm a good therapist. I'm a damn good therapist. And that's
Why aren't
as
you the
evidence.
best? Your clients think you are the best.
True. Okay.
And they think that you are the best fit for them to be working with.
Right.
True.
Right. So you could say, I am the best therapist for my clients.
That I can get on board with.
Okay. You are presenting your best foot forward to help them and to serve them. Right?
Totally. Yeah, I work really hard.
Good. Good. So you guys probably have a nice little graphic here of two brains, right?
Oh, the brains. Here we go.
Ooh, the brains. So we've got old programming and we have new programming. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think are some words that are going to go in old programming? Just throw some words out there.
Anything to do with should. I should
Ooh.
this, I should that, I should. Yeah. Yeah. Anything to do with should.
Yeah, I love that. What are some other words that go into old programming that do not serve us? How about fear?
I'm scared of, yeah, I was going to say fear.
Okay. How about overwhelm? How about doubt? Or shame and blame? The biggest word that comes out of old programming is quit. Right? It's
How about
too
can't?
hard. What is it?
Can't. I can't.
Can't. Yep. fear, doubt, worry, analysis paralysis, rationalizing, justifying, excuses, explain it away, right? That's old programming. Our new programming is going to be what? What are you going to fill your new programming with? Because this is where the choices lie. You get to choose your new programming. So what are you going to put there? The one word I want you to write down is curiosity. I want you to be open to being curious. When a new opportunity comes and your initial gut reaction is to say, no, I want you to pause and I want you to get curious. What if it works? Instead of thinking, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does? Be curious, ask questions, be inquisitive. Imagine what that would look like. Try to embody the feelings that would bring about if you were curious about an opportunity. Opportunities are going to come at you. When good things are happening, you're going to manifest that shit like nobody's business. And you are going to have a choice to whether to embrace it or to push it away. And oftentimes we push it away because we're scared. It's new. It's unfamiliar. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have the skills. I don't have the support. Ooh, ease. That's a good one, Paige. Some other words you might want to write in there are faith or hope. The faith that it's all going to work out, that everything always works out. Like if you thought that way, everything always works out for me. There's more money where that came from. How about energy? How about action? How about leaning forward and just saying, tell me more? How about excitement or being committed? How about this big word? Ooh, this is a big one. Patience. Do you think it's going to happen overnight? No, it's not. Not even close. Success does not happen overnight. Jeff Bezos will tell you, how long did it take him to get where he's at? Patience. If it doesn't work out the first time, are you going to give up? Or are you going to embody patience and just be persistent and don't give up? In order to have a breakthrough, you are going to have to break the rules. We talked about rules earlier, but a breakthrough requires breaking the rules. So before we go, I want to talk briefly about being accountable.
So who here currently has an accountability partner?
I do.
Sorta.
I do. She's right there.
That's right. Okay, so kind of, sorta. All right, so this will be good.
So being accountable to yourself and to somebody else will change your perspective about reaching your goals. You will be more conscious of every step you take, and you'd have the discipline to actually stick to the path you've chosen to follow. So when you think about holding yourself accountable, what does that actually look like? What are you committing to doing? How are you committing to show up? What does that actually look like for you? So my accountability is that I promise myself that I do what I say I'm going to do. I want to be reliable. It's kind of one of those weird things for me that if I say I'm going to show up, then I'm going to show up. Even if my self-sabotage comes in and tries to talk me out of it, because she does, she'll say, you don't want to go to that meeting. You're not going to know anybody there. But if I committed that I was going to go, then I'm going to be accountable to myself and I'm going to show up. Accountability can also look like owning up, owning your shit. When you make a mistake, own up instead of blaming it and shaming it and victimhood. And I'm going to blame COVID. We can't blame COVID forever, you guys. We can't. Okay. There are plenty of people that are surviving beautifully in COVID. They're thriving. Right? So I want you to answer that question for yourself. And I want you, part of your homework that is not listed here is I want you to create an accountability plan.
And your accountability goals don't always have to be around a business number or something like that. Like my big accountability that Elaine is helping me with is being more vulnerable and being open to accepting help. Because for a long time there, I thought I was Superwoman, right?
Oh, yes. Asking
So-
people for help is actually the biggest form of trust. It is how you gain trust with other people, is by asking for help. I learned that through Dare to Lead.
And so she's holding me basically accountable to me asking for help when I need it. Because otherwise I'd just be like, oh, no, I'll just do it. I'll just do everything. I'll burn, on both ends and all that kind of stuff, right? So just when you're getting that list together, make sure you're doing a wholesome list for yourself.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm just going to say this really quickly. If anyone would like to stay on and get some screen share around where to find your insights, stay on the call and we'll take care of that. We won't record that section. But tomorrow's class is going to be about creating a unstoppable scale up strategy. Okay, so tomorrow we're talking about strategy, we're talking about solutions, we're talking about goals, alignment, and values, and we're going to be talking about how to build a legacy.
And a big picture for your company.
Yes. Sheena.
I have a question about the accountability goals.
Mm-hmm.
I need to work around disabilities,
Okay.
which I can't predict.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to do that because I'm used to when I was able to work like full able-bodied.
Mm-hmm.
And so something like, I'm committing to one video a week or maybe I can do that. And I don't know.
So what I would love to offer you is space and grace. So you can create goals for yourself, but you also give yourself space and grace to show up imperfectly, to show up when you are having a feel-good day, and giving yourself grace to rest when you're having a not so feel-good day. This is not about being perfect. This is not about being a hard ass. This is about, is someone relying on me? Is someone expecting something from me? And if someone is let's say you're working with someone and there's a deadline and you're having a not very good day and your body, you just cannot move that day. Can't think clearly. How can you hold yourself accountable and ask for help, ask for more time, communicate. That is right. Just communicate with someone that you're having a not so good day and ask for space and grace. That's how you can hold yourself accountable. Is if I'm having a not so good day, I'm going to communicate with whoever is relying on me and expecting something from me. That is a perfect description, I think, for your situation, is to just say, I'm going to choose to communicate.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. Does anyone else have any questions around our topics today? Want to make sure that we have clarity. Ruth?
I just want to be clear for the homework. So the homework is the accountability plan.
Yes. Create
Okay.
an accountability plan. Yes. And Rachel, I saw your hand.
I must have missed it as far as like above and below the brain, the blanks, the you are blank and blank.
You are the
And-
problem and the solution.
Okay. And
And then
a
the-
blank requires blank.
And then a breakthrough requires breaking the rules.
Oh, I wrote that down. I didn't
The
realize that's where we
rules.
were putting. Thank you.
Of course, of course. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. And like I said, if anyone wants to stay on to get some screen share time, we will go ahead and do that for you guys.